Hello good people. Thanks for coming back to this channel.
Basically, the world has enough resources to ensure that all human beings can live well. However, the reality is that some of them are still on the list of the poorest countries in the world. Actually, what are the benchmarks and indicators of this poor country? Countries whose economies have fallen drastically are mostly found in Africa. Even though the prospects for African countries are starting to improve in 2021, it cannot be denied that almost all sectors, such as agriculture, industry, and services, experienced a decline in purchasing power per capita, compared to before the COVID-19 pandemic. To assess the poor countries can be identified by looking at the level of gross domestic product per capita or gross domestic product in each country. These are poorest country on earth. Number 1. Burundi with a GDP per capita of $263.67. Number 2. South Sudan with a GDP per capita of $303.15. Number 3. Malawi with a GDP per capita of $399.10. Number 4. Mozambique with a GDP per capita of $455.01. Number 5. Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, with a GDP per capita of $456.89. Burundi is in the first place on the list of the poorest countries in the world. This landlocked country has a variety of problems internally and externally, thus making it top of the poverty rankings. According to information, the Hutu-Tutsi ethnic conflict and war are still going on in Burundi. In addition, the issue of food scarcity is a major concern for Burundi at a time when nearly 90% of its 12 million people depend on agriculture. It is certain that access to clean water, sanitation, and electricity is still very low. Where less than 5% of Burundians have electricity, this has also been exacerbated by the emergence of the pandemic. Number 2. South Sudan. It is a new country in the world that was formed on the 9th of July 2011. This country was formed after the agreement that ended the conflict with Sudan. Even though it has decided to become a country, violence is still happening in South Sudan to damage several sectors. The situation in one of the world's poorest countries was exacerbated by a new conflict in 2013, when President Salva Kiir accused his former deputy of being the leader of a coup rebel. Unfortunately, it is estimated that 400,000 people died from these clashes and nearly 4 million people fled to neighboring countries. It is known, South Sudan has a population of about 11 million people. Number 3. Malawi. Malawi is a small country on the African continent with stable governance conditions and safe from rebellion or violence. However, the problem of poverty is still the main case that causes this country to enter the list of the poorest countries in the world. Malawi's economy is highly dependent on its land area. Unfortunately, this country often experiences extreme weather changes so that it is not uncommon for the land in the region to be damaged. This is also the main focus of why food shortages in rural areas are so high. Number 4. Mozambique. It is a strategically located country, as 4 of the 6 bordering countries rely heavily on it as a route for global trade. From this global trade, Mozambique managed to increase GDP growth by an average of more than 7%. So, why is Mozambique still included in the list of the poorest countries in the world? This is due to the civil war that lasted until 1992, then continued with severe climatic conditions, corruption, political instability until a group of rebels emerged in the north in 2017. The rebel group attacked the northern part of Mozambique, which is famous for its gas, killing 4,000 people. And 800,000 others had to evacuate. A few years later, instead of getting better thanks to funding from a French company amounting to Rs. 15.8 billion in the north, the project failed. The company eventually suspended its operations, resulting in Mozambique's revenue dropping drastically. Because of this persistent problem, Mozambique is on the list of the poorest countries in the world. Number 5. DRC. After becoming independent from Belgium in 1960, the Democratic Republic of the Congo instead had to face a greedy dictatorship by its leaders, political instability and constant violence. This is what makes it into the list of the poorest countries in the world. Congo has also been involved in a war called the Great African War, which resulted in prolonged poverty. More than 60% of the total 92 million people live a day on less than $2. In fact, the world's poorest country has great potential to improve its economic situation through minerals and metals. However, the existence of political instability, endemic corruption, the Ebola virus outbreak and the pandemic thwarted this extraordinary potential. Those are for today. Thanks for watching.